Hey Econ 200, welcome back. Look what I learned how to do. Just turn that camera sideways, and now if you're watching this on a PC, you're not going to have those annoying empty spaces on either side of the screen for you. So I told you that the videos would be getting better as we went, and I'm making good on that promise. This series of videos that I'm doing next is going to be on price floors. The last 6 videos that I posted were all on price ceilings. These videos are probably going to go faster. The ones on price floor, the ones on price floors are probably going to go faster than the ones on price ceilings because everything is basically the same reasoning. It's just flipped upside down. We're just operating on the other side of equilibrium. Okay, so let's begin by talking about the primary effect of a price floor. Remember that a price floor is a price where the government looks at the equilibrium and they say that price is too low, right? There should be a higher price that's being charged in that market. And so the government chooses some price above that. Let's call that price P bar again. And they make it illegal for anybody to trade at prices that are below this price P bar. Okay, now what's the effect of that going to be? Well, the primary effect is going to be to discourage buyers from purchasing units of the good, but at the same time, it's going to encourage sellers to sell units of the good. So the quantity of units demanded is going to be given here where the price P bar intersects the demand curve. Call that QD. And then the quantity supplied is given by where the price P bar intersects the supply curve, QS. And notice that we're not in equilibrium anymore, right? In equilibrium, once again, the quantity of units supplied is equal to the quantity of units demanded. But when you hold the price artificially high above the equilibrium, now you're separating the amount of units that buyers want to buy from the number of units that sellers want to sell. This is the opposite situation that we had with a price ceiling. Remember, with a price ceiling, you hold the price down here. Sellers want to sell fewer units than buyers want to buy. We called that a shortage. With a price floor, the opposite is going to happen. Sellers are more eager to sell than buyers are to buy. And the difference between those two is called a surplus. A surplus of goods. Okay? Now, remember that, or keep in mind that the stated goal of a price floor is to shift surplus towards the producers. It's to make sure that the consumer of the good gets a smaller amount of the surplus, and the producers are meant to capture everything above the supply curve and below the legislated price, P bar. That gives us the theoretical producer surplus. But if you watch the videos on price ceilings, you're going to know ahead of time that this is not the way things are likely to shake out, okay? And this surplus of goods in the market, that means that you've got a lot of competition among the sellers, but that competition is not allowed to take place in the form of pushing prices down. So that surplus driving the competition will push other things to happen in the market instead. We'll get to those in a couple in the next video. One last thing that I want to say about this, as they point out in the videos that are posted on Marginal Revolution University, MRU, they talk about the fact that there really aren't a lot of real-world examples, especially not in the United States, of price floors. They don't tend to be that popular. The one market where we do see price floors consistently and where they are very popular is in the market for wages, okay, the market for labor. So in the low-wage labor market, very often people would be working for, I don't know, say $2 an hour, $5 an hour. There are some jobs that just aren't that productive, where people aren't going to create a lot of value of their work, and they've got a lot of competition, and the equilibrium price could be fairly low. So a lot of people support a minimum wage. That is a price floor on labor. It says you can't pay anyone below some certain amount of money. And it varies from state to state, but you've probably noticed that in the last couple of years, the number $15 an hour is becoming very popular. A lot of states, Washington state passed a $15 an hour minimum wage. The state of California is also, we're phasing in a $15 an hour minimum wage. And so in those types of markets, a surplus of labor, another word for that is unemployment, right? As you push that minimum wage up, more and more workers who wouldn't have worked for the old wage, they're going to enter the market and be willing to sell their services to employers. But at the same time, employers are going to be less and less willing to hire people because it's become more expensive to do so. So we would expect hours to be cut or jobs to be reduced, even as more people are entering the labor market. Now, I'm not going to go into the evidence for that in this particular video. I do plan to post another video shortly where I talk about one particular study that I think is nicely designed that illustrates this point. But for now, we're just going to leave it at that. So I'll move on to the next video where we're going to talk about competition among the sellers in the form of wasteful quality upgrades. And we'll also talk about deadweight losses.